like you said earlier, you were saying how New York ran Al Capone out there, a lot of stuff, and things like that, man. But when you look at a lot of the historical drug figures up there now, a lot of them came from North Carolina
Absolutely.
and came
Alabama,
in New
all of
York
that.
and set some flags down there in the land like
Correct.
that.
Correct. But see, here's the thing, right? This is why when Southerners be hating on New York, I'm like, man, 60% of the black people in New York got Southern roots. I mean, so many dudes when I was growing up, when the law be looking for them, where you think they went? To their grandparents' house in the South. You know, their cousins down there would tell on them every night.
For a little bit of nothing.
All they had to do was hit a knock on the door.
Right,
He's
right,
in that room,
right,
but
right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right,
But well, I'm just joking.
Right.
Not really, but yeah, let's just call it a joke. But yeah, the Southern roots are real down there. And all this separatism, it's like, it's really counterproductive to our community as a collective. All jokes aside, like we have way more in common than things we have different for sure.
Right. And that's one good thing about the relationship that we build up, man, because a lot of times the misconception about New York dudes and DC dudes,
For
like,
sure.
you know what I'm saying, you can't go in the same room, you can't break bread,
Look.
can't win together. You know what I'm saying?
Look, homie, you called me. You told me what you doing Sunday, this time, that time. I said, what's up? You said, yo, man, I'm doing such and such. I said, count me in.
Right,
What you
right,
tell me?
right, yeah.
You said, no, I know that already. I already
yeah,
counted you
that's
in.
right, yeah.
Because we got
That's
that kind of rapport
Right,
like
exactly,
that. You know what I mean?
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, listen, man, at the end of the day, right, nobody should be ashamed of being proud of where they're from,
right.
right?
Hell yeah.
But you also got to recognize that for the same reasons you proud of where you from, the next man has a
proud where they
right to
from.
be proud
Right.
of where he from.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But when it comes down to it, man, are you a real man no matter where you from?
Where you at?
And real men recognize real men and rock with real men. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's the deal. We got solid dudes everywhere, and we got sad cases of manhood everywhere.
Right, yeah.
You know, yeah.
Right.
And because we got so many people in New York, you know, we got more of those too. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
It's consistent. It's
Right,
consistent.
yeah. The
across
more you have,
the board.
you have more everything, right?
You got more of everything. Facts.
So coming up, man, how the hell you escape? You ain't had no juvenile charge. You never been no detention center, locked up, no time or
Man,
nothing?
listen, my first case was in, I think it was 85. And it was actually over, you know, a dude said we robbed him or whatever. And that's another thing for the people watching. I don't ever say I did anything wrong.
That you ain't get convicted for.
I ain't been convicted for nothing, so I never
You ain't
shit.
did nothing wrong,
I ain't never did nothing
You
wrong.
only know what this is. What this right here is, huh?
So what is that? You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, just as a matter of principle, because I do a lot of good legal things. I'm
Right.
57.
Right.
And, you know, when I was 19, 20, 18, you know, I was caught up with different things. But I don't admit to anything wrong. But, yeah, my first charge, I was charged with, what was I charged with? It ain't as bad as it sounds now. Attempted murder, kidnapping, robbery 1, 2, and 3, and felonious assault. I had 6B felonies. The individual who pressed the charges was a CI. I didn't know he was a CI. You know, there was some kind of
For the audience that don't know what the CIA is, can you tell-
confidential informant.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't learn he was a confidential informant until we went to trial. You know, there was some kind of transaction that went on, and there was some discrepancy about money. And then he just took a bad one that day. But it was a blessing, you know what I mean? Because who knows what would have happened if he just went about his business like everything was cool. So yeah, he went in, he got the police, and came back proudly in the back of the car.
Right.
I got acquitted of all the other charges, but I couldn't get around the felonious assault charge because he had a hospital record that kind of corroborated his account. You know, he had stitches all in his goddamn head and shit. So, but I mean, I didn't touch him. Let's get that straight. I did not touch him. And so I appealed the conviction, and I had the foresight because I always strategize. You know, that's all that good Catholic school and stuff for me. You know, I applied to Hampton while I was on trial in case I blew. And when I blew on the last count, the judge allowed me to continue my bail pending appeal because I was going to school. My lawyer argued that we had a good chance of beating the case in the appellate court because a couple things happened, right? It was 4 of us. And one of us, he had another charge, and they put the 2 charges together, and he copped out. So then there was 3 of us, and one of my attorney, David Cohen, right, had a good Jew lawyer, right? But David Cohen, he
You know when they good when you shout their name out.
yo look. He made a file a motion for dismissal because the way how his argument was that we started with 4 co-defendants, and when the jury only see 3, they could make the assumption that one took a plea, and if that one was guilty, everybody was guilty.
Right.
You know, and the Judge Pearl Appleman in Superior Court in Long Island City, Part AP6. See, this is 1986. I remember this like, yo, she told him, I'll never forget her words. She said, you know, the law guarantees you a fair trial, but not a perfect one. Motion denied.
Damn.
That's what she said. You know what I mean?
And I'm sitting there saying to myself, that's a hell of a point he made. There's 3 in there. I was assuming that same thing. And she shot that shit down like he ain't say nothing.
Yo, the law, yo, man, it's funny. So anyway, she did allow me to go to college because I'd be out of New York, and they figured I wouldn't be involved in no. You know what I mean?
The college play, was that your thought or that the judge's thought?
I used to tell my lawyers how to defend me, man. My lawyer came to me with a 5-year probation plea deal while the jury was deliberating. And I told him, and keep in mind, man, I'm 21 at the time, paying my own lawyer. I mean, I didn't even tell my mom and them I was going to trial or nothing. You understand? When I see dudes looking behind them, where's my mother? I be like, your mother wasn't with you when you was doing what you was doing, man. It's time to man up, shorty. You understand what I'm saying?
So the lawyer tell you, look, you got to bring your family there. We need good presents for the jury. You was like, I'm by myself.
But the dudes I was sitting next to, my family wasn't going to help me anyway. Like, you know, the special ed dudes I was telling you about. But you know, the lawyer came to me with a cop out, man. He said 5 years probation, and I didn't take it. I told him, I said, man, I ain't pay you all this money to get a conviction. Remember, I was 21 years old, bro. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff that I be seeing and hearing, I be looking at it like, yo, man, you know, like back then we were in a rush to be adults, right? And nowadays, people want to be forever young. You dig what I'm saying? They want to be kids forever. As a matter of fact, a lot of these dudes, man, and I'm talking about the old heads, not the young ones, it's like they had to wait for adulthood to be the cool kids they never were. You dig what I'm saying? Like, and so I see the clown shit, man. I be like, but it ain't my place to check anybody unless they violate my space. And then I'm gonna let them know that, listen, Slim, I know who you are. You understand? And I know how to deal with you, and you don't really want to be, you know, doing this with me, man. You know, go for somebody who go for that. You know what I mean? Like, but I live and let live, man. I'm an elder now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy to be that too.
Right, yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah, it's a blessing, bro.
And you pick in Hampton. What made you pick Hampton? And talk about that experience when you in college.
You want the truth, man? I'm gonna give you the
That's what we do on this Chasing Jews. We want the truth. Look, nothing but the truth.
Well, I went down with some guys to Virginia.
The setup shop.
It wasn't me.
Okay.
But they were looking to buy guns, right?
Okay.
I was just
you was going to school.
I was looking for girls.
Right,
So I went on to Hampton campus, and
Okay.
they went and bought their guns and all that.
Right.
But I had an epiphany when I was on the campus, man. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh shit, this is where I really belong. Because you know, it's like I got two people, right? There's the straight side of me that could do everything by the book and do it well. And then there's the wild side of me that I could do that and do that well too. So sometimes, man, those two sides, it's like a tug of war, you know what I'm saying? And when I was on the campus that day in 1985, I believe, yo, bro, or was it 84? I think it was 84 because it was Hampton Institute at the time. That's how long it was.
Long.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I had an epiphany. I was like, this is where I belong. But I didn't revisit it until I got in trouble. And then my mind said, yo, run the Hampton play on them. You know what I'm saying? And I did that. But every time I had a lawyer, right, I always directed my cases and defense. I never left it up to them because what happens is that these lawyers, right, they make their money and they'll fight if you make them fight. Mm-hmm. If they could mail in they motherfucking service, they will. They don't care. Make no mistake about it, man.
And it's you're right because
they don't care.
And I learned earlier. I didn't learn until I got in trouble years ago that even a plea deal that's lesser time is a win for them if they start from getting that big number. You know what I'm saying? So
let's not even talk about how they sacrifice some clients for favors with others. The ones that's paying them the big money. I'll let you win this time. You understand what I'm saying? And look, man. Again, you know. I've even been in DC jail, man. That's how much I've been in DC. Right. You know what I mean? And my lawyer there, I didn't have a paid lawyer in DC jail, but I did tell him how to defend the case. He was asking me if I wanted to work for him. Yeah, and I got around that case. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
hey, look, you ain't need no Jew lawyer. You just need a lawyer there.
Yeah, look, listen. But
you behind the scenes, pull the strings like that.
Look, man, my fate is. I'd rather my fate be in my hands. You know what I mean? Right. I like the Jew lawyer for the aesthetics because I was in New York. Right. And Jews kind of run the legal system in Jew. You heard the judge named Pearl Appleman. She was Jewish too.
And Coleman.
David Coleman. And my Cody's lawyer was Todd Greenberg. You see, and then when I had my case in Long Island, it was Sale, Gruthuis, and Hirsch. Those three. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's all, yo, man. You know, when in Rome, you got to do as the Romans do.
Where you get that knowledge from? Was you ear hustling from the older dudes? Or how you knew that at 21 years old that you need to line yourself with a Jew lawyer?
You know, man, that's the most puzzling thing with me, right? I honestly don't know how I knew the things that I knew. You dig? Because I didn't have an older brother. I was raised by my stepfather. I mean, he wasn't a bad dude, but he ain't paid me no attention. I kind of like, matter of fact, the motherfucker was envious of me. You
wasn't bringing more food in the house than he was.
You know how it is, man. You're a young boy, you get money, man. Your stepfather trying to regulate your mom by denying her certain things. She go to her son, and I ain't realizing, man, I'm just trying to be a good dude, blessing my mom or whatever. But meanwhile, I'm sowing all kinds of seeds of resentment with this man because I'm the other man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, and I didn't realize I was challenging his autonomy and his authority in his own home. If I had the wherewithal to figure that out, I wouldn't have done that. No, I wouldn't have done that.
But moms could have did it indirectly, saying, "I just get it from my son."
Look, I ain't trying to go on women, but you know what I mean. Women do a lot of self-serving shit, man. And I ain't mad at no woman for being a woman. Right. It's just that a lot of us, man, when we have most of our primary influence from a woman, our mother. We only see one side of womanhood. You understand what I'm saying? And we totally think that all the other bad things that women do is not mom, it's those women. You know, it's the ones we call bitches and give a hard time out in the street. You understand what I'm saying? But yo, it takes maturity for you to understand. And I'm gonna tell you a story, right? Real talk. So I was in Vegas back, like, I don't know when Canelo fought Mayweather. I was out there for that. I jumped in a cab to go get the tickets. The dude tell me he's a cab driver. He's from Atlantic City. He Middle Eastern. We get to talk, because I always talk to cab drivers and shit. See, I talk to people. That's why I learn and pick up shit. You dig what I'm saying? So he started telling me how, you know, I asked him, why'd you come to Vegas to drive cab? You could have stayed in Atlantic City. He said, well, my wife got a promotion with Caesar's Palace. So we moved out here, and then he went on and started talking about he hadn't seen his kids in 6 years. You know, when these women start making more money, you can't tell them nothing. But he a cab driver, and she moving up the corporate ladder, so he don't have the kind of respect and control that he's accustomed to, right? So I'm listening to the dude, right, and I'm just like, I said, look, man. Oh, he did tell me he wanted to save his money and move to Dearborn, Michigan. For people who don't know, that's the the highest concentration of Arabs in America, right in Dearborn, Michigan. So he wanted to probably start over. And when he said he hadn't seen his kids in 6 years, I knew there must have been some kind of order of protection against them because they all live in the same city. How the hell you ain't seen them for 6 years? But what I told the man was this, man, and it applies to everybody, myself included, right? You cannot lead from the side or the rear. You got to lead from the front, man.
Right.
You know,
true shit.
And women, man, you got to be in the windshield. They got to see you in front, and they focus on you. The minute your ass get at the side or in the rear view mirror,
they gonna see something else.
you ain't like that no more. You know what I mean? Like you ain't attractive. You ain't sexy. You don't turn me on. You don't make me wet. You just done, man. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, you know, look. So.
What happens when they speed back up and get back in the front door? When they see him get attractive again?
Yeah, they might, but for me, it'll be too goddamn late.
Right?
You
know
where you was going. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. But honestly, man, with age, I just learned, man, that my job really is to stay out front. Because I promise you, I was with a bad young chick at the fight, and when I went back to have dinner with her, I told her the story I just told you. And you know what? I looked at her and told her, I said, I don't worry about that, because you ain't never going to pass me.
Right.
Yeah, I told her that in her face. Yo, look.
Yeah, she got them hardball, huh? Hit that motherfucker and get past you.
You never going to pass me, shorty. So I ain't here losing no sleep over that shit.
Out the park, niggas know me. Curtbone, little homie. All days, yeah.